Hey, I'm Bradley Jacobs, a senior editor at Us Weekly, and this is a very special edition of Us Must, your holiday movie preview. We're going to talk about 4 major movie releases that we're really excited about here at Us. First up, 9. This musical tells the story of a film director played by Daniel Day-Lewis and the complicated feelings he has toward the various ladies in his life. There's his mistress, Penelope Cruz, his wife, Marion Cotillard, his muse, that's Nicole Kidman, a journalist, played by Kate Hudson, a prostitute, played by Fergie, and finally, his own mother, played by the illustrious Sophia Loren. We interviewed Penelope Cruz about this movie, which was directed by Rob Marshall, who did Chicago, and she told us that for the training, they had different rooms where they would do the acting, the singing, and the dancing. She said that she was rehearsing all day long and she loved it. Next comes Up in the Air, a movie that I actually saw at the Toronto Film Festival and loved. In it, a commitment phobe, played by George Clooney, happily spends more than 300 days a year flying between cities as a corporate downsizing expert, laying off people he's never met. But then he falls for a mysterious fellow frequent traveler, played by Vera Farmiga, and begins reconsidering his life. Vera told us there's very little sex in this film, and hardly even a kiss that's more than a peck. Yet the relationship reeks of sex because of all the banter. That's why all those old Hollywood romances work. Then there's Sherlock Holmes. As the famed 1890s London detective, who's also a martial arts expert in this Guy Ritchie-directed update, Robert Downey Jr. partners with his old pal Watson, played by Jude Law, and fights with his ex-girlfriend, who's Rachel McAdams. The producer Lionel Rigram told us that Rachel's character double-crossed Robert Downey Jr.'s character in the past and broke his heart. And finally, the biggest chick flick of the season, called It's Complicated. Though Jane, that's Meryl Streep, and Jake, played by Alec Baldwin, have been divorced for 10 years, sparks fly again the weekend that their son graduates college, and Jane begins dating her now remarried ex. Making things messier in this romantic comedy, Jane's architect, played by Steve Martin, has a little crush on her. We interviewed Hunter Parrish, who plays the son for this story. He told us that Meryl is calm and focused, and Alec is hysterical and energetic on the set. Together, they're phenomenal. We'll be back next week with another regular edition of Us Must. In the meantime, be sure to check out the new issue of Us Weekly magazine on newsstands now.